Hi everyone, so it looks like we are live. For those new here, my name is Nikki. I'm an author and editor and I post videos here on YouTube about editing, writing, reading and all the things I love. Today we're here for my end of the month wrap up of film and TV that I've been watching. Now usually I do film these in my library and spend time editing them, and I just decided to give a bit of a trial this month for this one and tomorrow's one on books about doing them as a live stream. My time is really limited. I've got 20 million things to do and I want to get these videos out on time for you at the end of each month. But with all the time spent filming, then editing, then an hour or so for YouTube to upload it, I thought maybe I'll try just doing these end of the month ones as live streams. So I'll pre-record all my footage during the month, all my sort of standard ask an author and things like that, doing tags in the old way. But these end of the month ones, it would just really free me up at the end of the months if I can just do them as a live stream. So I'm going to see how it works and I'll assess it after this month. But for today, that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to kick us off. As I said, we're talking today about film and TV I've watched in January. So first of all, what I saw at the cinema. The first film I saw for the new year was The Favourite. Now this is set in the court of Queen Anne in England. And essentially it's a comedy. It had a very strong cast. I thought Olivia Colman was excellent. So was Rachel Weisz. It was a little bit strange. It wasn't entirely what I expected, honestly, based on the trailer. But I did still enjoy it. I thought maybe it could have been trimmed a tiny bit. There was once or twice it started to drag for me a little. But overall, it was very funny and very well acted and a great looking period piece. So I gave it 4 stars. Next up, another period piece, but unfortunately not quite so good, was Mary Queen of Scots. Once again, excellent performances. Nothing wrong with any of the actors or actresses' work. It looks sumptuous as a period drama yet again. However, this one was let down really by the fact that they completely wrecked history. It's supposed to be a biopic of Mary Queen of Scots, and yet they just basically made up whatever they wanted. There was all sorts of stuff that happened in the story that didn't actually happen in history. I've seen lots of people complaining about cast members who, you know, perhaps shouldn't have been there because they weren't white. And I mean, I definitely don't agree with that. I don't see any problem casting whoever's best for the role. So that doesn't worry me so much. It was more things like the meeting between the two queens that they have that's central to the film, but actually didn't take place in history. So they were just trying to make this sort of really major feminist icon out of Mary Queen of Scots, and it didn't work because it was just incorrect history. So that one was 3 stars for me. It had good acting, it looked great, but in terms of the content, it was a real letdown. I kind of wanted them to have done justice to the truth rather than make up whatever they thought would look good. And finally, one more film I saw in the cinema for January was Glass. I absolutely adored Split. I mean, Unbreakable was fine. I've seen it, it was okay, but Split really did it for me. I thought James McAvoy was awesome. So it's absolutely brilliant to see him back playing Kevin Wendell Crumb again. Glass, interestingly, was not quite what I expected from the trailer. The story went in a completely different way than I'd envisaged. However, I still really enjoyed it. And it was funny because it's quite serious. It's quite dark at times, but then there's odd moments of humour, such as when Hedwig is in control of Kevin Wendell Crumb's body, and he's hilarious. But it was also quite sad. I actually cried at a couple of points. So it was a really good film, very emotional. Again, I mean, in some ways, Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson are almost supporting characters. This is James McAvoy's showcase yet again. But it was really great. 4.5 stars I gave it out of 5. So moving on to 3 films that I've watched on Netflix. First of these was Early Man. Now, this is not something I would probably naturally gravitate towards, but 2 things made me decide to watch it. One, it was by the people who did Wallace and Gromit, and I did always enjoy Wallace and Gromit as a kid. And secondly, of course, Tom Hiddleston is doing the voice for the bad guy, Lord North. And now, it's quite interesting, actually. If you didn't know that was Tom Hiddleston, the voice is so good, you wouldn't actually recognise it as him. And so that was all fine. However, the story itself, I found a bit lackluster. I just didn't really have any interest in it. The only reason I watched to the end was for the sake of completedness. But it didn't really do a lot for me. If you're a kid, maybe, but I thought the story was pretty weak and it wasn't as good as some of the Wallace and Gromit stuff. The next one I watched was Allied, starring Brad Pitt and Marion Cotillard. This is, for those who don't know, kind of a spy flick. They are both secret agents during the Second World War. They meet and fall in love and get married. But after she's moved to England and they've had a kid, his superiors come to him and say that they are watching her because they think she's actually a double agent. On the whole, this was quite entertaining. I thought again, the cast did a good job. Perhaps I wouldn't dash to rewatch it a million times, but it was entertaining and enjoyable for the one time I did watch it. And finally, last night I watched Polar, which is a Netflix original. And the only reason I really watched this was because it stars Mads Mikkelsen, who's one of my favourite actors. It's quite funny because as I was watching this, I was thinking to myself, I bet you anything this is based on a graphic novel. And at the end, I discovered it was. It just had that feel about it, if you know what I mean. And it was entertaining. I mean, Mads Mikkelsen plays an assassin who is retiring or about to retire. And his company owe him a lot of pension. However, they want to keep the money for themselves. So they've been going around trying to eliminate all the assassins in their team who are about to retire. But they make a mistake when they go after Mads Mikkelsen, and he has a few things to say about the people that have been coming to take him out. I don't want to give too much more away than that, but it was very entertaining. It was an enjoyable flick. It's not going to win any prizes for great plot or great drama or anything like that, but the performances were solid, the action looked good, and it was another entertaining couple of hours. Again, it's probably not one you'd rewatch ad nauseum, but it was a good piece to just while away a bit of time in the evening. Moving on to Netflix and YouTube for streaming TV. So first off, I finished the final season 3 of A Series of Unfortunate Events. I've really adored this series, I have to say. I haven't read the books. I've got the first one in Czech, which I got just for practicing my Czech, but I haven't really read the series. And I saw the original film with Jim Carrey, and it was a bit average. But Neil Patrick Harris, I thought, was absolutely perfectly cast as Count Olaf, and that's really what's made this series for me. That's kept me watching throughout. It's funny, because I wasn't sure what to expect from the ending, not having read the books, and it was actually quite sad. I did shed a tear or two towards the end, and I thought it was great fun. It was just brilliant entertainment. Next up on Netflix was season 2 of The Punisher. Now, I loved season 1. I think John is perfectly cast as Frank Castle. I've loved him since he came into season 2 of Daredevil, and this was again an enjoyable series. I don't think it quite had the magic and depth of season 1. And I think part of that was the 2 different plot lines running. I kept waiting all throughout 13 episodes for the 2 plot lines to somehow combine, but they never did. They were just 2 separate storylines that were running at the same time. And I thought that was possibly a bit of a mistake. I think they should have either found a way to bring them together or just have stuck to one, because it kind of split your attention, split your interest a little bit. And finally, on YouTube, I watched The Devil's Whore. This was a piece that starred Michael Fassbender, Dominic West. So it was the cast that really appealed to me about this. Set during the English Civil War. So we're talking about the 1640s. And it was an enjoyable, well-done period drama. Again, it's not going to be something that you want to award the Pulitzer Prize or anything like that too, but it was enjoyable, entertaining. I liked the period look and good performances from all the cast. And that brings me to the final piece to discuss today, which is a series I watched on DVD, and that is season 1 of A Discovery of Witches. I've been eagerly awaiting this series. I've loved the books since they came out, and as soon as I heard it was going to be adapted for TV, I was really excited. Particularly when I saw the casting of Teresa Palmer and Matthew Good. They just perfectly epitomised the characters for me. And I've been hanging out to see this, and I had to wait for the DVD release to be able to get it, but finally I was able to watch and I'm really thrilled to say it was a good adaptation. I was a little bit concerned here and there that, will it live up to the books, but I thought it did. They add a lot of material that's not in the books, showing stuff that's going on in the background that we only find out about sort of after the event in the books. And I thought that worked really well because it balanced out the story quite nicely. It was perfectly cast. Once or twice the effects sort of brought a little smile to my face. They obviously didn't have the best of budgets for that, but it still looked okay. And the acting really is the main thing here, and the chemistry between Matthew and Teresa as Matthew and Diana worked perfectly. I know it's already been approved for series 2 and 3 to finish off the trilogy, so I'm really looking forward to seeing the rest of it. And we'll be going back in time to Elizabethan or Tudor Elizabethan England in the next series, so that should be great fun. So that was my TV wrap up for the month, TV and film wrap up. I'm also watching at the moment the originals again, because with some money I got for Christmas, I bought the entire box set. So I've already seen seasons 1 to 4, but season 5 is new to me. But I thought, just to make sure everything plays okay before I have to get rid of the receipt and that, I'd watch from the start. So I'm just finishing season 3 tonight. So I'll be talking about that a bit more. I'll be finished with the whole thing by the end of February for next month's vlog. So on that note, I'm going to close. There's a few films that are coming up in February I'm hoping to get to, so I should have a few things to talk about next month for you. And I'll be back tomorrow, probably around a similar time to this, when I'll be live streaming my book, my reading wrap up for January as well. So I will see you all again then. Bye for now, everyone.